Hey everybody, welcome back to Vegas Tips and Tricks. It's Saturday, November 9th, 2019. I gotta tell you, I have tried to do this video like 4 times today, and it's just been awful. Okay? I'm gonna do it now, and it's probably still gonna be awful, but you're gonna get to watch it, which will be fun. It's fun. I'm trying to do part 2 today of our Vegas orientation. My advice for people who are visiting Las Vegas for the first time and don't quite know what to expect. And last week we talked a little bit about, getting to the airport, finding transportation, finding your way around your hotel, and just some of the options to get around. So today I wanted to talk about some of the things you can do in Las Vegas and also some of the people you meet who you probably don't want to meet. Okay? I just have a good general rule. If you're walking through a hotel or you're walking down the strip or walking downtown and someone you don't know approaches you and wants to have a conversation with you, walk on by, as Dionne Warwick would have said many, many years ago. You do not want to have a conversation with them. Now, okay, maybe once in a while it's just a friendly person with no ulterior motive. At 99.9% of the time, it isn't. They're trying to sell you something or scam you in some way. You can be wandering around your hotel and inevitably, in most cases anyway, you'll be approached by a nice young man in a blazer, and he'll wonder, if you're going to be in town for a couple of days. This guy's trying to sell you a timeshare. I'm not going to debate the merits of a timeshare. Some people have timeshares and really enjoy them. But I will say, if you're just going to go sit through the timeshare presentation to get the fabulous prizes that they're going to offer you, don't. You can spend 3 or 4 hours in some room way off the strip. There's going to be some high pressure sales techniques going on, and it's not going to be a great show you get a ticket to, or it's not going to be a great restaurant that you get a gift certificate to, and you'll have wasted prime Las Vegas vacation time. Don't do it. There you go. There are also these nice gentlemen dressed quite gaudily as well, who will try to hand you little playing cards, or you think they're playing cards until you realize they have mostly naked women on them. In case you're not smart enough to have figured this out, don't call the numbers on the card. First off, that girl's not coming to your hotel room. She's not coming to your hotel room for $49. And yeah, it's exactly what you think it is. There are plenty of beautiful young women in Las Vegas who would love to talk to you and hang out with you. Don't call those numbers. You'll also meet all these lovely costumed characters running around pretending to be something. Some of them pretend to be Buddhist monks now. That's also a scam. Don't fall for that. But they may be dressed up as Transformers. They may be dressed up as naughty policemen or Spider-Man or Sesame Street characters. Well, that's good. That'll attract the kiddies. These people are not working for the casinos. They're just out there freelancing, and they expect a tip. So, if you're okay with giving them 10 or 20 bucks to take a picture with you, great. But just know that going in. People do a lot of stupid things in Las Vegas. I know I do. And most of that is a result of sort of eating, drinking, or gambling to excess. So let's talk a little bit about each of those topics today. If you're going to gamble, realize you're probably going to lose. Okay? Those casinos were not built on winners. All right? And the longer you play, if you sit there and play in the slot machine all day, you're going to lose, in all likelihood, hundreds of dollars. So just keep that in mind. Don't gamble with the rent money. Slow down while you're playing. It's not a competition. And take breaks from time to time. There's no magical system. There's no money management techniques that are going to make you a winner. If you want to have a better chance winning in the casino, you could learn some of the better games like video poker, blackjack, or craps. Play conservatively. Don't gamble a lot. And you can play a long time. As my friend Kevin says, the key when you're in a casino is seat time. So, hey, enjoy the experience, take some breaks, and you'll have a better time. And make sure you use your Players Club card. I've talked about this before, but at least you have a chance to, maybe get something back. And if you gamble enough, or if you have a really large bankroll and you play all day long, you're going to get your room comped possibly. You're going to get meals. You're going to get free play on the machine. So definitely use the card while you are playing. Now, one of the controversial topics, and actually a topic you could probably do your own YouTube channel on. So if you want an idea, here you go. And that's how to get great drink service in the casinos. What's the sort of secret, and you know, where's the best drink service? If you don't know, when you're playing on the machines, or wherever you're playing at the tables, from time to time, cocktail waitress will come by, ask you if you want a beverage. It's complimentary. They do that in Nevada. So, you know, and people want to have a lot of drinks while they're playing. So, I mean, the tables are a good choice. They do tend to come around there pretty frequently. But if you're at the machines, it can be pretty hit or miss. Sometimes there's a waitress every 10 minutes, and then you don't see one for several hours. It's a mystery, kind of. One piece of advice I would give there is, excuse me, as you look around the casino, you'll notice that there are certain areas, service bars they're called. Sometimes they're just regular bars inside the casino. Sometimes you'll see a waitress walk behind a partition into a hidden room. They're going to retrieve drinks. So if you can figure out where those service bars are located and set somewhere close to where the waitresses walk by, you're going to see them a lot more frequently. So that's a tip, okay? So check that out. You might not notice it at first, but if you're staying in a hotel for a few days, after a while, if you keep your eyes open, you will notice that. Of course, make sure you're tipping them. Some people say, well, tip them a lot the first time and they'll make sure they come back. Well, I'm sure they'll try, but some of the waitresses are stretched pretty thin. They have a pretty large area to cover sometimes, and that's often the reason you don't see them very much. Smaller casino can be a little bit better with that because, you know, there's just not as much space that they have to cover. There you go. If you're buying drinks, you know, the casino bar is probably not a great place to go. You might get charged $6 or $10 for a Bud Light. Okay, so if you just want a beer or, you know, cocktail or something, you might either look for specials. We'll talk about happy hours as far as hotels a little bit later, but not hotels, restaurants. But some of the bars have happy hours or they have discounted drinks, so keep an eye on that and, you know, buy accordingly. Otherwise, for that kind of money, you're better off going into the Walgreens or the CVS and picking up some alcohol there. Either just a tall boy to carry around for a while, or if you want to entertain, have a couple of drinks in your room, you can pick a bottle of something and some mixers. So it's very expensive normally to buy drinks. It's certainly expensive if you go to like the clubs. I'm not going to talk much about the Vegas nightclubs because I don't really know much about them. If you've got any tips on that, feel free to leave them below. But, you know, then you're talking $20, $25 for a drink sometimes. Or you can buy a whole bottle for like $1,000. So, not really my scene. So, again, if you're not getting free drinks, you might consider just buying your own alcohol, more or less wholesale, and making your own drinks that way, rather than hitting up the bars. In addition to drinking too much and gambling too much, people have a tendency to eat too much in Las Vegas. And of course, the classic Vegas experience is the buffet. It's not your Uncle Jimmy's buffet from a generation ago. You know, it's not $4.99. Okay, it's more like $49.99. That being said, the food's great. I mean, these are, you know, high quality buffets. You know, the worst buffet today would probably be better than the best buffet 30 years ago. Not just in terms of quality, but certainly selection. So it's just hard for most of us, you know, to eat $20 worth of food for breakfast or $50 worth of food for dinner. I do recommend hitting up one of the super buffets like the ones you find at Caesar's Palace, Cosmopolitan, Aria, Wynn, places like that, just for the experience. But just keep in mind, you know, at dinner you could be 60, 70, 80 bucks. Okay. My personal choice is to eat lunch as sort of the big meal of the day, or brunch as they tend to call it. Cheaper, get almost the same array of foods. You also have some breakfast foods if you're in the mood. So if that doesn't jar your schedule too much, that's a good way to save a little bit of money there. You also don't see the food specials you used to. You don't find $2.99 steak and eggs. Well, you might, but it'll be like 15 miles off the strip. So not really worth, you know, going out to some offline casino for that. One thing you might want to do, again, consider, you know, if you want to eat in a nicer place, if they're open for lunch, consider going for lunch. You'll have maybe a little bit more limited selection of food items, but it'll be at a lower price. Also probably be a lot easier to get a reservation or just walk in and get a seat. So great way to try things out. Or later in the day, a lot of places will have happy hours where you'll have some discounted appetizers or small plates, and also typically discounts on beer or cocktail. a great way to get off the casino floor for a little bit, take a break, and enjoy, you know, some good food in a good setting. You may find a place that you want to return to sometime for dinner or lunch. So it's an option. And there's so many of those that vary so much, you can't really touch on them. Just check around your hotel and neighboring properties when you're in town. If you go to Las Vegas and you come back, someone's inevitably going to ask you if you saw a show. Did you see a show? Well, why not see a show? The Vegas show is an experience. It's not, again, like it was a generation ago. It's not just a bunch of showgirls dancing around and variety acts. In fact, shows like that are kind of hard to find anymore, the sort of classic Vegas shows. Keep in mind, just like restaurants, shows in Las Vegas have gotten really expensive. You know, if you're going to see one of the major Cirque shows or a show like Absinthe, you know, expect to pay $100 and up. Maybe you can get a discount. They do have like discounted ticket booths up and down the strip, so that's worth checking out. But with the big shows or with any of the headliners, you know, like Lady Gaga or someone like that, you know, again, you're going to be in the hundreds of dollars as far as tickets are concerned. And in those cases, it probably pays to buy them in advance. If you're not quite sure what you want to see, you know, be open-minded. There's a lot of fun shows on the strip. You know, these may be C-level shows, but just like the last player on a bench in an NBA uniform, that's still a really talented person that you're getting to see. I mean, I've seen people like Mac King at Harrah's, which was hilarious. This paranormal show I saw at Bally's I thought was just absolutely terrific. So just be open-minded and check out something that sounds interesting, particularly if you can get a discount on it. You'll have a good time with it. So there you go. That's just a few things that you may want to do when you're in Las Vegas, and a few brief tips. I had made sort of a longer video, but literally I've had video glitches all day. So I had it completely recorded and lost it somehow. So it's growing pains, everybody. Maybe it's time for a new camera. Probably is. Please send money. Speaking of which, we are only about 50 subscribers away now from 1,000. So thanks to everybody that's jumped on the bandwagon. There's still a few more spots left, and we hope that you'll join us. If you enjoyed today's show, however bizarre, please do hit that like button, subscribe button, the little bell if you want to be notified anytime I do another video. We probably won't have a video on Wednesday this week, but we'll be back with more exciting Vegas tips and tricks next Saturday. Until then, have a great and lucky week. We'll see you soon.